Welcome back to another episode of PTV. I'm Savannah Ewing.
And I'm Haley Bruner. The new semester is in full swing, and so is Mrs. Peterson-Shea's art students. This year, the Mid-Continent League is hosting a new art competition. Taya Cunningham and Sam Pruitt traveled to Plainville to report on that.
10 PHS art students traveled to Plainville to participate in the MCL art contest.
We had a group activity where we had to draw and paint and use different materials to match a theme given to us by the judge.
Participants had a time limit of 3 hours, and their artwork had to represent a quote by Martin Luther King Jr.
It just happened to be that this was the week of Martin Luther King Day. It's kind of interesting because my youth, I grew up with Martin Luther King and that turmoil of that particular part of the civil rights movement. And so I thought, well, this would be interesting to use a quote that is always used, unheard, as a resource for our work.
I think the theme was really cool, and there were a lot of different ways that you could come up with an idea for a project for it. I think that we worked together really well, and I think it came together really good. I just wish we would have had more time.
The hardest part was keeping the paint and chalk from smudging everywhere. We had a lot of trouble trying to keep it all in one spot and a lot of erasing to get it out of the way.
I've never worked with other artists before to create one big project, and I really enjoyed the experience because there were all sorts of different ideas and concepts all mashed together, and it turned out really good.
I really enjoyed watching them work together. We need to learn how to pick up the pace. That's something I think we struggled with a little bit because we're used to having more time. So this was more of a time crunch because I know there was things that they would have liked to do on top of what they did. Well, as a team, I hope they appreciate each other's strengths and know that they can, if I need help with something, I can go and ask this person because they're good at this. I also hope that seeing other schools and their teams work was beneficial for them to see how they came up with ideas so they could see that different people work in different ways. Well, of course, I would hope we would win.
And that's exactly what they did.
First place winner for this will be Phillipsburg. First place.
Reporting for PTV, this is Samantha Pruitt.
The art students aren't the only ones who have been competing. The Scholars Bowl team also had a league competition recently. Let's go to Alicia Hernandez to find out more. And stay tuned after her story for part 1 of our fun feature, which will be shown throughout this episode.
The Phillipsburg High School Scholars Bowl team loaded up and headed to Ellis for the MCL tournament.
We went 2-2, so we didn't quite break it in the finals, but we were right there.
I did pretty average. I really wasn't on my game and answering as fast as I could.
The team is young, but they're working hard to improve.
We're not as strong as last year. We have a lot younger team, and so our knowledge base isn't quite as large, but we're progressing with each meet.
We have practices every Thursday.
Scholars Bowl isn't just about the competition.
I love expounding on the trivia I already know and also learning more facts. And I also love the bus rides. They're always interesting.
I like spending the time with the kids and seeing them have fun and interact.
For PTV, this is Alicia Hernandez.
At the middle school. Like a good mascot, the Panther is here. Oh, Panther, please help me. My iPad's broken. Thank you.
Have you heard the quote? Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body.
Well, I have now. And if it's true, students in the new book club are getting their minds in shape. Here's a report on the new book club.
Freshman August Ricker turned a new page in her book when she followed through with the New Year's resolution.
It was like 2 in the morning, and I was coming up with New Year's resolutions as of what am I going to do? And so I put on there, read at least 1 book a month, and then I just kind of thought of a book club.
Members of book clubs select a new book every month.
First, we're going to vote on a book, and I have this little sheet thing with 3 books that you can vote on per month. And then we order those books off of thriftbooks.com, and they're like super cheap, and it's really cool.
I think it's a great way to get students involved outside of school, and I think for people who don't really have the motivation to read, it's kind of a great way to get you into that. The first book we're reading is called Speak, and I like it so far. It kind of relates to high school life and kind of the struggles you face.
From PTV, this is Layla Karim.
It's cold in here. Like a good mascot, the Panther is there. Thank you, Panther.
While some students have passion about reading, others show passion in their jobs. Sophomore Lauren Miller enjoys working with animals at the vet clinic. Here's more on this.
PHS student Lauren Miller works at the vet clinic.
I actually didn't know where else to work, and I really like animals, so I came here the first time and got an application, and then I didn't really know if I wanted to work here or not, so then I didn't turn it in. And then I came back a few days later and got another one and filled it out, and finally I turned it in and started working here.
Working at the vet requires a variety of responsibilities.
I clean kennels, I sweep them off the floors, and if they do surgeries, then I help prepare the surgery room and stuff.
Yeah. Working at the vet, Lauren has decided on one thing.
I don't think I'll ever become a vet, just because I don't think I could do surgeries and stuff, but I've thought about it.
For PTV, this is Riley Breton.
Our sports teams are off to a good start in the new year. Here's Tana Cole with sports.
In recent basketball action, both our girls and boys basketball teams have had nearly back-to-back games against Norton. Last Friday, Phillipsburg hosted Norton for a regular MCL matchup. Alyssa Fawcett has the story on how the girls did.
The Lady Panthers battled the Lady Jays in a close contest last Friday. In the first quarter, Tatum Bartels found a couple of inside shots to put the Panthers within 2 points of the Lady Jays. The game stays tight in the second quarter when junior Madison Mathis hits a three to pull within one. But the Panthers on top, Hannah Hoover drives through the lane for two to give Phillipsburg the 22-20 lead at half. In the third quarter, Caitlin Swanson drives the baseline and extends the Panther lead 29-22. But the Blue Jays go on an 11-point spurt to the end of the third quarter, 30-33 in favor of the Blue Jays. Madison Mathis starts the fourth quarter off right with a jumper for two. And Hoover finds Bartels inside, who battles for another two, but the Panthers fall short 42-47.
They fought hard. They didn't give up. Just kind of had some plays not go our way, some loose balls, some fumbled things that could have ended up differently, but they didn't give up and fought till the end.
The Panthers will get another shot at Norton.
Well, next week we start off on Monday playing Norton again at home, and I am pumped to play them. We're out to get them again right here at home. It's going to be a great game. And then we're looking to play, if we'd win, we'd play Hill City, and they're the #1 seed. That'd be an awesome thing to knock them out.
We're the 4th seed, and we get to play Norton again here at home on Monday night, and it'll be a battle again. And we're hoping to come out on top. It's going to take everything we got so that we can advance to the second round.
I think we have a pretty good chance at doing well and winning.
For PTV, this is Alyssa Fawcett.
The #4 seed Lady Panthers got their chance for redemption just 2 days later when they played #5 seeded Norton in the first round of the MCL tournament. Phillipsburg started well and had a commanding 13-5 lead after the first quarter. Norton could never catch up as Tatum Bartels and Caitlin Swanson each tallied up 19 points for the 45-32 victory over the Blue Jays. The Lady Panthers will take on #1 seeded Hill City Ringnext today at 3 to see who advances to the championship game. Our boys team also had a tough battle against Norton last Friday night. Danica Hanchett and Hannah Sato teamed up to report on that story.
Our own Phillipsburg High took on Norton for an MCL matchup last Friday. The Panthers started slowly, but Trey Sides finds Trey Thompson for a three to boost the Panthers. And later in the first half, Trey Sides gets a three-pointer to keep the Panthers close. The Panthers find the inside shots as well when Sides finds Dalton Blakemore on the baseline for 2. Panthers trailed at half 16-22. In the second half, the Panthers battle back. Chris Van Kooten gets the offensive rebound and put back for 2. Phillipsburg tightens up the defense and Blakemore cashes in for another 2. But the comeback falls short and the Panthers lose 40-48. Although they lost, Coach Sides saw some positive things too.
I thought our defense was good, giving up 48 points, so we'll take the good and learn from it and go from here.
They've worked hard. Their defense played really well. We got steals and stuff, just had a hard time finishing shots.
We just got to work hard and get better every day. Play one game at a time, and I hope our young guys just keep improving.
For PTV, this is Danica Hanchett.
After Friday night's game, the Panthers also had to play on Saturday against Stockton for a play-in game for the MCL tournament. The Panthers stayed in control throughout the game with the help of Trey Thompson's 16-point effort. Phillipsburg defeated Stockton 65-53 and got their chance to face off against the number 1 seeded Norton Blue Jays to avenge their earlier loss. In the game against Norton, the score stayed close in the first half with good shooting from Jordan Ford and Trey Sides. The Panthers led at half 26-25. The third quarter took its toll on the Panthers as they were outscored by Norton and trailed 35-46 going into the fourth quarter. Phillipsburg fought back to pull within 3 points in the final seconds, but time ran out on the Panthers as they lost 54-57. Phillipsburg then played Trigo last night and beat the Eagles, so the Panthers will play for 5th place tomorrow. The wrestling team competed in Marysville last weekend. Savannah Ewing has that report.
The Panther wrestling team headed to Marysville for the J. Husker Invitational Tournament.
I went 3-2 this weekend and I finished 4th. The competition was very high at this tournament. There were a lot of high-ranked competitors along with people that we will not see at any other tournament, including state. We had a lot of 4A, 5A competition as well as ranked kids within those classes. My hardest competition was the Marysville kid. He was ranked 4th in the state before the tournament. He went on winning the tournament, and he defeated me 9-5, but he handled me pretty well, I would say.
I think we did okay. A lot of room for improvement. I think we could have wrestled a little bit better. We finished 8th overall.
I went 3-2 and got 4th. I thought we started off pretty bad, but we got better toward the end.
Senior Donovan Lumpkin continued on to the finals and ended the tournament with a 2nd place finish and a record of 2-1. Junior Drew Staple finished the tournament with a record of 3-2. Senior Zach Davis finished with a record of 2-1. For PTV, this is Savannah Ewing.
I wish I had a prom date. Like a good Panther, the mascot is here. Yay!
Being an athlete and competing for your school is both a privilege and an honor, but it also comes with some sacrifices along the way as well. Oriana Ratzliff and Shylin Bannister take a look at the life of an athlete.
During basketball, we can't have pop, but sometimes I accidentally drink one or 2.
There's not really anything that you're not supposed to do as long as you get good grades. That's really all it takes.
You cannot not turn in your homework because then you have to stay after school and then you miss that practice and then you have to run.
Basically the perks and being able to, say you're a student athlete on a, at any level, I think.
The best thing, there's nothing quite like game day, walking out of the locker room in front of 50,000+ people. It's pretty special.
The best thing about being a Pacer is getting to perform.
The worst thing about being an athlete is probably you don't have as much time.
It's a little bit more time consuming, obviously.
Time consuming? The worst thing about being a Pacer is football season when you have to wear skirts.
For me personally, I guess since I'm a kicker, I always get stereotypes saying that that's on kickoffs and things like that. You're the worst. You're not very good athletes.
It's pretty cliche, but that dumb jock stereotype.
Probably that we're dumb, even though I probably shouldn't be saying that because I kind of am.
I hate the fact that people say dancers aren't athletes.
Something funny, during tennis, we weren't moving our feet, so Mrs. Jarvis made us put jingle bells on our shoes.
Well, one time we were in Colorado for like this basketball tournament or something like that, and I was like a freshman back then, and I did not know what I was doing like at all, and I was sitting on the bench with some seniors or something at that time, and during the game they said, "Alex, hurry, go in, hurry." I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, so I start running out there. And so there's 6 players now that I go in there. 6 players, and this one girl like totally shoves me right like on the corner of the court. She shoves me down, and I just like couldn't help but just like look up at her and just like tear, and it's really embarrassing. So then I just ran off the court and I sat back on the bench, and then the other 5th member was already off for some, I don't know where she went. So then I had to, after being injured, had to get back up on the court and go.
There's a lot of qualities you need to have, but I think one quality really important is being resilient. And what I mean by that is when you're having a bad day, when you're having a bad practice, something like that, how are you going to respond the next day?
I'd say just take advantage of all the opportunities you have here. You've got all the resources, and don't take it all for granted.
Oh gosh darn it, I don't have any toilet paper. Like a good mascot, the Panther is here. Thank you, Panther.
That's it for sports. Now back to Savannah and Haley.
Thanks, Tanner. Before we wind up this episode, we know a lot of PHS students are already thinking about prom. If you would like to do a promposal on PTV, we'll help organize it for you and show it on a later episode.
Let that special someone know that you'd like to go to prom with him or her. How could anyone refuse that?
That wraps up another episode of PTV. I'm Haley Bruner.
And I'm Savannah Ewing.
Stay classy, Phillipsburg High.